Breaking news at 5. A plane goes down in a busy metro neighborhood. A tragic loss of lives for this community for the second time in 2 weeks. We're live at the scene.
We heard a loud boom, and then power's been out since then.
Power goes out in a flash to hundreds of thousands in our area. Bringing it back proves to be much more complicated.
Since I've lived here, there's never been loss of power this long.
Excel updates us on the timeline.
We understand that it's taking a little bit of time. Completely empathize on the frustration of just having to wait.
And a welcome sight for parents who are struggling to keep their newborn babies fed. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on Denver 7 News at 5. I'm Jacqueline Allen.
I'm Brian Wang. We begin tonight with breaking news in Broomfield. A plane crashed in a neighborhood there, killing both people on board.
You can see the plane went down here off Las Brisas Drive. This is near Lowell Boulevard. This is the second deadly plane crash in that area in less than 2 weeks. Denver 7's Patrick Perez is live at the scene with what we know so far. Patrick?
Hey, Jacqueline, we're in the Anthem Ranch neighborhood. This is right off of State Highway 7. I want to show you how close this plane got to the homes here. Like you mentioned, unfortunately, the 2 people on board did die, but firefighters say it was a miracle that no one on the ground was hurt.
A plane ride over Broomfield Sunday morning ended in tragedy.
Unfortunately, the 2 occupants on the single engine plane did not survive the crash.
North Metro Fire Rescue District says it received a call about 11:50 a.m. from a homeowner who saw the plane go down in the Anthem Ranch subdivision.
And we've now had 2 plane crashes in Broomfield within the last 2 weeks with fatalities. And so it's hard for us as first responders and those of us in the community and residents to see this.
The plane crash landed just feet away from nearby homes. Neighbors say they heard a loud noise right before the impact.
Tragic, of course, that people lost their lives, but just very frightening for the community. Could have easily hit a home or someone out walking.
Chris Rorty is the president of the subdivision's HOA. She says the community has raised concerns over the years about planes flying too close to homes. In 2018, a small plane crashed just down the street from this current scene, also killing both people on board.
Our concerns are growing, I guess, because we hadn't anticipated this and had hoped it never would happen again.
The plane took off from Erie Municipal Airport, which is just a few minutes away from the crash site. Why it crashed is under investigation by the NTSB and the FAA.
Our thoughts are obviously with those families because their loved ones aren't going to be able to come home to them today.
So expect the area around the crash site to remain closed for the night as we see these federal agencies work on their investigations. We actually see right now NTSB here on the scene. We don't yet know the names of the 2 people on board this plane, but we're expecting to get that information later this week. We'll keep you updated. Jacqueline.
Wow, thank you, Patrick. To see it so close to those homes, that is very shocking. And Patrick mentioned this is the second small plane to crash in Broomfield in just the past 2 weeks. Another single-engine aircraft crashed May 11th. This is near Eldorado Boulevard and Interlochen Loop. This is not far from Rocky Mountain Metropolitan Airport. The pilot was the only person on board and did not survive.
Wow. All right, our thoughts with those families. Xcel Energy hopes to have power restored to every home and business that can receive service within the hour. Now get this, the latest outage maps show just over 8,000 customers still in the dark. Among them is Tim Yeager, who is going on 40 hours without power. He ended up enlisting a friend to help with basic electricity.
Yesterday, my friend came over and he's an electrician, so he hooked up a generator directly to our electrical box, and we were able to do the fridge and the furnace.
Xcel Energy says about 330,000 customers lost power starting Friday evening. Crews have already replaced more than 100 poles and 5 miles of electrical line. Xcel says it understands the frustration and that crews are going neighborhood by neighborhood as quickly as possible.
We really work to go from high impact, high customer count and restore them, and all the way down to the one-on-ones.
All right, meteorologist Stacey Donaldson joins us now. And Stacey, the snow may be behind us, but the storms are not.
That's right. We have chances for some rainfall here across the area tonight and for the next couple of days. But after that snowfall yesterday, we cleared things out nicely for today. This is what it looks like in Boulder at this point. And we have a few scattered showers off to our west and down to our south. And it looks like we have chances for a little bit of rain here for the Front Range. But at this point, a few flakes flying up in the high country and some light rain down to our south. We are going to see that chance for rain later on tonight. Our futurecast showing those scattered showers across the eastern plains as we get closer to midnight. and into early tomorrow morning. So we'll see those spotty showers for us. And our area will have 38 degrees for our overnight low. With those scattered showers, we'll talk more about our work week forecast coming up.
Still chilly. All right, Stacey, thank you. A fight in an apartment complex parking lot leaves 3 people shot and injured. This is video from the scene this afternoon outside the Park Place at Expo Apartments off South Havana and East Exposition in Aurora. Police are asking for tips about how this fight all started. All 3 people shot have serious injuries but are expected to survive.
This is the arrival many young parents have been waiting for. Tens of thousands of pounds of baby formula arriving in the U.S. from an FDA-approved facility in Germany. This particular formula is the most urgently needed right now. Faith Abube has the details on who it will help as this nationwide shortage worsens.
The first flight of Operation Fly Formula touched down in Indiana on Sunday. The military cargo plane carrying 78,000 pounds of baby formula. That's the equivalent of up to 500,000 8-ounce bottles. President Biden tweeting the news, writing, quote, "Our team is working around the clock to get safe formula to everyone who needs it." On board that flight, specialized formulas, which are in grave demand, meant for babies unable to digest formula made from cow's milk.
Our patients and families across the country are in urgent need of this formula, and we're grateful for this shipment that's arrived so our families can provide the nutrition that their children need.
Gerber's hypoallergenic formula also expected to arrive in the coming days. The formula will now be taken to a Nestle Gerber distribution center for a standard quality control check. That's according to an administration official.
And then it's going to go on trucks and it's going to be delivered in hospitals and home health care clinics all across the country.
Data shows the formula shortage is worsening. Nationwide, an average of nearly 45% of baby formula has run out. And if the current trend holds, some major stores could run out of stock completely by the end of the month.
I see moms next to me and dads next to me facing the same problems, and you can cut the desperation with a knife. Nothing else matters. The world stops until you find that formula for your child.
On Saturday, President Biden signed the Access to Baby Formula Act, allowing those who use the federal WIC nutrition program to buy the formula they can find. Secretary Vilsack says another formula flight will be coming into Dulles Airport in the Washington, D.C. area later this week, and an abatement of the formula shortage should be seen within the next 30 days. Faith Abube, ABC News, Washington.
And these shipments of formula are arriving just as more babies are hospitalized due to this shortage. We have calls in now to see if there are any cases here in Colorado, but one hospital in South Carolina reports it is caring for 4 babies. Now, 3 of those 4 had a bad reaction to new formulas. The 4th suffered mineral imbalances because a parent tried making formula of their own. Now, we have said this many times, but it is worth saying again. Do not try to make formula yourself at home. Also, do not dilute formula to make it last longer.
All right, looking ahead to this week, an interesting debate in Boulder. The City Council will hold a study session to talk about guaranteed income pilot projects. On Tuesday, council members will work out details about who would qualify and for how much. The city expects it will take about $3 million to run the program through 2024. The money comes from federal funds through the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA. Guaranteed income is different than universal basic income. The payments are typically smaller and set aside for only the people most in need. A year ago, Denver became one of the first cities in the country to pilot a guaranteed basic income, specifically for those experiencing homelessness. The Denver Basic Income Project partnered up with the University of Denver Center for Housing and Homeless Research. The funds come from nonprofit donations and are being distributed in 3 different models to see what the right approach might be. The money comes with no strings attached, meaning those on the receiving end can spend the funds as they see fit.
On Wednesday, the iconic Air Force Academy graduation will take place, but 3 of the graduating cadets will not be commissioned as military officers. The Academy confirms all 3 refused COVID-19 vaccines, which are still required. The cadets will receive their bachelor degrees, but they could be on the hook for tuition in lieu of service. The Air Force Secretary will make that decision. The head of the World Health Organization says the COVID-19 pandemic is, quote, most certainly not over. He told governments that we lower our guard at our peril. Right now, the Biden administration is preparing for a possible wave of infections in the fall and winter. According to the CDC, more than 100,000 new cases are being reported every day. COVID-related hospitalizations have risen about 24% from the previous week. Health experts say this latest surge is due in part to new variants and subvariants, some of which are increasingly contagious.
If you have not gotten vaccinated in the last 5 months, if you have not gotten boosted, you need to go out and do that now.
The White House says the decision on vaccines for children 5 and younger could be made in just the coming weeks. The rise in cases has brought mask mandates back in some places. Tomorrow, children in Philadelphia will be required to mask up again in the classroom.
All right, here we go again. COVID precautions are coming back just as the summer travel season begins. Next, what to expect for the Memorial Day weekend and the 2 things you ought to consider to save money with rising gas prices.
And your generosity helps a mother and her sons find their home away from home following the devastating Marshall Fire.